Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for your daily dose of the roars as we talk about the very stupid things going on in the modern world of technology. And today we are on location at American Underground in Durham, North Carolina. Tonight I'm teaching a class for SiliconDojo.com here, basically extending AI capabilities using REST APIs. So I'm here in the morning getting my roars out, getting my screams out before I deal with real human beings tonight and have to be nice and polite and smiley to everybody. Anyways, do remember I do these videos in order to make money for SiliconDojo.com so I can provide free to the end user hands-on technology education here at American Underground in Durham, North Carolina. If you want to help support my free education program, there is a donor box link down below. And with that, let's get into the code red. Surprise, 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 hopefully to nobody at this point, OpenAI has just a couple of problems when it comes to their business model, and Sam Altman has come out to say, code red, we're screwed. And I think this is interesting, right? Because one of the big things when we start talking about the whole artificial intelligence deal is, to be clear, I'm not anti-AI. I'm not even anti-OpenAI. I use ChatGPT every day. Those really crappy those thumbnails you see for the featured images or whatever, I use ChatGPT for that. It is definitely worth $20 a month as a thumbnail generator. But one of the big things I've been talking about is there's a difference between a societally valuable technology and product and an economically valuable technology and product. And one of the big issues going on right now is everybody is trying to compete in AI. Even companies, I don't even understand why they're there. I keep bringing this up with Meta, right? Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, right? Mark Zuckerberg wants Meta to be the premier AI company. And you have to understand, the big question, why? I mean, I get why OpenAI does, whether it will or won't. I get what they're trying to do. I get what Anthropic is trying to do. I get what Mistral is trying to do. Maybe even Google, right? Google actually came out with these TPUs, these things called tensor processing units, a decade ago, back in 2015 or so. I forget the exact date. So they've actually been working on this stuff for quite a while. But then Meta comes in and they're just like, hey, we're going to be an AI company today. And you're like, but why? And so you have all of these companies all trying to compete for, yes, it's a valuable market, but it's questionable how valuable that market is, and now everybody in the world is trying to compete for that limited market. However big the market is, it's still limited to some degree. And so now OpenAI is coming out and Sam Altman is going, the sky has fallen. The sky has fallen. We think we broke so many foundations of our society, the sky is gonna fall on our head. So anyways, OpenAI CEO declares code red as Gemini, so this is Google's model, gains 200 million users in 3 months. So Gemini 3 Pro came out a little while ago, and from what I've heard, it's good. From what I've heard, it's good. Now you're like, well, wait, Eli, you're Eli, the computer guy. You teach classes on AI. What do you mean you've heard it's good? What is your recommendation? And one of the things I've talked about before is legacy. Macro and legacy beat everything else. Let me explain something to you. I purchased ChatGPT. I started paying for ChatGPT, I don't know, a year ago or something. It's $20 a month, and it's fine. And it's fine. I have so many things on my plate that when I have a solution that's fine, I really don't go run around and try to look at other solutions. So I have heard basically, I don't think I've ever heard any bad things. I've heard nothing basically but good things about Gemini 3 Pro, but I don't have a lot of experience with it because I've got other things to do. Not every geek has enough time to every day play with the latest model to figure out what's better and worst. Sometimes you got to figure out what's fine and then move the fuck on. But anyways, right? So anyways, Gemini's gained 200 million users in 3 months. 3 years after Google sounded alarm bells over ChatGPT, the tables have turned. And this is the other thing to be thinking about in the technology world, is there's this idea of whoever is currently the winner will continue to be the winner. That's not how it actually works. Things get shaken up all the time. So it appears that this is getting shaken up. The shoe is most certainly on the other foot. On Monday, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman reportedly declared a code red at the company to improve ChatGPT, delaying advertising plans and other products in the process. This is actually what I'm concerned about. One of the things I've talked about for a while now is that I think most of these models, again, are fine. Are fine. Right, I've seen like there's a new DeepSeek model out there, and it went through the Math Olympiad, and in the Math Olympiad, whatever. Right, most of these models, I would argue, fine. Again, when you start looking at artificial intelligence, there's the LLM, the large language model, and multimodal model. Anyway, there's this model, but that's only one component of quote-unquote artificial intelligence, and then there's all these subsystems that go around it, right? That's the class that I'm teaching tonight with Silicon Dojo, with extending AI capabilities with REST APIs. So REST APIs allow you to go out to other services, dynamically pull in real-time information so that your AI application can give you up-to-date recommendation. So I can say, should I wear a coat? And my AI will automatically figure out the location that I'm at. It will then go to this open weather, I think it's called Open Weather Map API, to pull in the weather. It will then see what the current weather is and what the weather will be. And then based off of that, it will then respond to my query of, oh, it's going to be 95 degrees all day. No, you don't need a coat. Or, oh, it's 40 degrees now, but it will be 95 degrees later. Right, and that's where we start talking about these overall systems that you have to put in place, these subsystems that you have to put in place for an AI solution. And so actually one of the things that I'm actually I would be concerned about here with OpenAI, if I didn't think it was going to blow up regardless, I think it's going to blow up regardless, so it's like, anyways, right, is basically that they're delaying plans for advertising, whether or not it's a good thing, and other products in order to go after making the model itself better. And that's where I would be concerned here. I think the add-ons, I think in 2025, really going into 2026, I think the add-ons to LLMs, the add-ons to models is going to be the real value. And the models themselves are going to incrementally get better. It's kind of like smartphones, right? It's like a smartphone. Like, I'm not anti-better smartphone, right? I don't know. I have a 14 Pro here. Like, in another 2 years when I replace this because it broke or whatever, I'm not anti it being incrementally better, but I'm also like not that worried about it. I kind of think that's where the models are at. Like, yes, obviously they should incrementally get better every year, but is that where the real value proposition is? The information reported based on a leaked internal memo. The move follows Google's release of Gemini 3 model last month, which has outperformed ChatGPT on some industry benchmark tests and sparked high-profile praise on social media. Again, whatever. Yay, it's slightly better. In the memo, Altman wrote, quote, "We are at a critical time for ChatGPT. The company will push back work on advertising integration, AI agents for health and shopping, and a personal assistant feature called Pulse." Altman encouraged temporary team transfers and established a daily calls for employee responsibility for enhancing the chatbot. And that's the move here that I really question. The idea of focusing more on the chatbot. I mean, think about this. Getting rid of advertising, again, whatever. AI agents for health and shopping. That seems like that's where the value proposition be. A personal assistant feature, Pulse. Depends on how good that personal assistant is. I mean, if it actually works, it'll be good. I mean, if. Right, but again, like if you're saying like where should OpenAI invest their money at this point in time, I would be thinking it's on the integrations and the agents and that type of thing, continuing improvements of the chatbot and whatever. But again, for you, does it really matter to you if ChatGPT scores 97% on a particular test and Gemini scores 98%? Think about this from a practical point of view, right? If Gemini scores 98%, ChatGPT scores 97%, but ChatGPT has an AI agent that will grab all of your health information. It'll grab your information from your scale, it'll grab the information from your smartwatch, watch and from your phone pedometer. It'll grab other information, and then it'll be able to give you recommendations based off of that information. Do you want 1 point improvement in the chatbot, or do you want a product that is actually going to make you be able to live your life in a more healthy fashion? I would argue that's the value. So I get concerned with what's going on here. And I think one of the big problems that they're running into is the whole question of the value proposition, right? They want 1.4, or Sam Altman wants $1.4 trillion in CapEx investment, with this idea that the real value in AI is these advanced frontier models. And one of the questions you run into is, what if that's a wrong assumption? What if that's just not correct, right? And I don't think it's correct. So the question then becomes, what happens if the initial assumption is incorrect? Even if you realize the initial assumption is incorrect, if you try to backtrack on that initial assumption, you're going to scare the shit out of your investors. So do you double down on an initial assumption that you have found out is incorrect, because to do anything else is to spook investors? And then where does that lead all of us in the modern world? Google released Gemini 3 in mid-November, and the model quickly topped the LM Arena leaderboard, a crowdsourced vibe marking site that allows users to compare two AI models and select the one with outputs that please them the most. Again, please them the most. There's a difference between which is the best response and which is an acceptable response. The launch has been accompanied by measured praise from some and bombastic hype from others. Salesforce CEO Mark Beinoff wrote Sunday on X that he was switching to Gemini 3 after using ChatGPT daily for 3 years. Quote, "I'm not going back," Beinoff wrote. Quote, "The leap is insane." And again, that's just the kind of stupid shit these types of people say at this point in time. He will go back if ChatGPT is better, right? I will never go back until I go back. Anyways, in addition to buzz about Gemini on social media, Google is quickly catching up to ChatGPT in user numbers. ChatGPT has more than 800 million weekly users, according to OpenAI, while Google's Gemini app has grown from 450 million monthly active users in July to 650 million in October, according to Business Insider. The other big question with this, too, is a lot of these users are free, right? So as far as we understand with OpenAI, when you pay $200 a month for their service, you still cost them money. They are losing money when you pay $200 a month for their service. So one of the issues you run into is, so I pay $20 a month for the service. So there's a big question about what I'm worth. A lot of the users, whether it's for Gemini, whether it's for OpenAI, whether it's a lot of these other services, a lot of the users are completely and utterly free. They are not even paying for the service. And so there does become an interesting question there. What the hell do these numbers actually mean? Wow. You have a lot of people burning your money. Hey, look. We have given all of these people all of these billions of dollars to burn. We have more people around our money bonfire than they have around their money bonfire. I mean, it is a correct statement. It is 100% correct. And I don't know 100% what the fuck is going on in the modern world too. So yeah, that is what seems like we're looking at right now is OpenAI is in a code red status. It will be curious to see where this goes. My big concern with OpenAI, really beyond all of the other AI companies out there, is that Sam Altman has just been so catastrophically bombastic with talking about the level of investment that he wants to put in there. Again, as I say, $1.4 trillion. Apparently, people have done the math. They've already written $1 trillion in contracts. So supposedly, it's a $500 billion company, supposedly, but they've already signed contracts worth $1 trillion. And so the issue you run into, right, is if there is a chink in their fucking armor, if they stub their toe. We are not talking about if this company breaks its legs. We're saying if this company stubs its fucking toe, it is moving so fast that it could be catastrophic in the blink of the eye. It is interesting. So with Grok, again, not that I trust Elon Musk. I don't trust any of these jackasses. But apparently, we'll just put it on the table. We'll accept it. Apparently, Elon Musk is saying with Grok that Grok is going to be profitable, I think, relatively soon. So in 2026, Grok is going to be in the black. Theoretically, who the fuck knows if it's true? And that is an interesting question there, right? So Grok, right, is only worth $200 billion. It hasn't done nearly as much investment as OpenAI is doing. But, right, if they can get to profitability with a smaller feature set, that is actually a far more successful business. We talked about that before with Anthropic. So Anthropic, I do believe, they think they're going to get to profitability in 2027, I do believe it is. One of their things is that they're basically just going after the coders. They're going after coders. They're going after professionals that are willing to pay. Ergo, they may have far fewer users on their platform, but if far more of their users are actually paying for the product, they actually have a better business. Again, when did we get into a worldview where winning is basically how much cash you can burn how quickly, right? We have lost the concept of profit and revenue and daily or monthly active users, and now we are just literally shoveling cash into the furnace as fast as possible. I just don't think that's going to work out. But who knows? I'm just a computer geek screaming into a camera at American Underground in Durham, North Carolina. So anyways, give us your comments down below. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. If you hate these videos, give us a thumbs down. Call me amazing. Call me a dumbass. Just be a real Lutnick and put that strong American comment down below. Again, as I say, I'm at American Underground here in Durham, North Carolina, because I'm teaching a class for Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com tonight, extending AI capabilities using REST APIs. We have these classes every couple of weeks. If you're interested, go to silicondojo.com to see what our schedule is. If you'd like to support free user education, there's a donor box link down below. And with that, see y'all later.